Howdy all, Nurse Dude here. Fresh in from working on the car since it was a nice day, and I figured we'd go over the Beretta 1301 that I've had for a few years now. I picked this up, I think like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, relatively when they first transitioned over from the Gen 1 to the Gen 2. So I can't remember off the top of my head, maybe like early or late 2020-ish, maybe 2021. I can't remember off the top of my head. So I've had this for a few years, been able to shoot it on and off, and I must say, as far as my first semi-auto shotgun, I very much enjoy it. As usual, we'll kind of go from the butt to the tip, and we'll kind of talk about why I set it up I did, and kind of go from there. So going back down, I have a limb savers. I do not have the best shoulders anymore, and so having a limb saver is really nice. I went with originally a Artist Industries stock adapter for the Magpul. I think it's the Mossberg 500 stock, and they also Mossberg 500 stock, because I wanted a little bit different pistol grip on it. The factory ones are nice, but they're obviously kind of more of a hunting style. Kind of wanted more of a tactical style, and I like wrist grips on my shotguns. I do not like pistol grips. I just like them better. That's all. I shot plenty of pistol grip shotguns in the military, and I really don't like them. I like wrist grips. So going from there, I originally had the Artist Industries style one, and I've since swapped to a G and G style one. The reason being is because this is a steel one. Also, maybe it's aluminum. I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyways, with that being said, it has the integral buffer screw with it, as opposed to where the Artist one does not. I know that the literature states that you don't need it. Personally, I think this bolt has enough velocity coming back to where you need it, and it's nice to have. And I can tell a slight difference in the recoil impulse, excuse me, as far as having the little buffer spring attached to the screw and without. So that's why I swapped over, and I think it's a little bit more attractive style on it. So also I have a Talon grips. I think it's their Pro style grip on this. I really like this material. I use the more grippy texture on my carry guns just because I find it adds a little bit extra grip to it. I do not like the sandpaper style, but this is really nice. It's kind of a halfway in between. Think of it as a rubber sandpaper. So very much enjoy that. It lines up really nicely, fits on it perfect. The receiver's standard, nothing really to talk too much about that. The charging handle, which is a nice big thick charging handle that you can get some really good purchase on. The manufacturer is a Canadian company, and it is locking too, which is really nice. I originally got I can't even remember the brand of it, but it was it wasn't a Burley one, it was another brand. It had kind of a pineapple grenade shape to it. You could pull it in and out. I did not like that at all. I like the locking feature, so I went with that. It's turned out to be just about perfect. Going down the line, ESS tack for the shotgun card with just some really nicely done Velcro working our way down. We also have the Artist Industries, I'm goofing up my mat here, Artist Industries Chrome, and this one has the U-notch in the back. I got it mainly to be able to mount the Hollow Sun, and I can't remember which one this is. This is a 407C, and it's just the regular dot. I have swapped my 509T over it just to see how it would work. The circle dot is way too busy with the corresponding front sight post in the window, so I've just stuck with the dot. It works out well. The U-notch is kind of different for a ghost ring sight. I mean, it works. I got it zeroed relatively well for slug. Going down, like I said, the bolts and the receivers all standard. Then I have the Yugo grip for the Magpul AK with the Artist Industries adapter. And yes, I spent way too long stippling this, but it looks awesome and it's quite grippy. So that I really do like. It's a little bit lighter than the factory one, and it gives me a couple N-lock slots. With that being said, I have the lights tape switch on the other side. I went with a Streamlight just because it was on sale and I kind of wanted to try it. They're not bad. I have no complaints against it. They do kind of stick out a little bit far overall comparatively, so that's probably just a little complaint, but overall it's not too bad. I do like the built-in pressure switch, which is different, and then also the built-in kill, which is really nice if you want to safety the light itself. Going down, I can't remember the name. I think it's Nordic Industries, maybe Nordic something, that makes this magazine tube extension. It works relatively well. The threadings on it's very nice. The clamp for the light in this corresponding Picatinny and or sling swivel spot, it does move around. You have to torque it down quite a bit, even though that it is aluminum. Then I have a G and G, 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 and G, because there's 3 Gs. Sling mount there. It pops in relatively well and it works all right. I just have a Magpul sling on it because, again, it was cheap and on sale. And then lastly, down at the end, I have a Beretta branded muzzle brake on it that is also a choke. I just went with an improved cylinder. I will fully admit I am not the biggest shotgun person, but I find that the improved cylinder works relatively well with the flight control that I used primarily for defense and other things, and the brake on it is really nice. And the reason why I went specifically with the 1301 as opposed to a Mossberg or another brand is because I was really intrigued by the blink system. I think it's really interesting and I really like their design, coupled with the fact of when I actually held it originally, it does feel really short. And I think that's because the receiver's overall length is a lot shorter comparatively to other brands, and also the stock is nice and tight. So it does feel a lot shorter. And also for Mrs. Nurse Dude, quite frankly, she is just does not have the length of arm and the overall, body dimensions to be able to effectively pump a pump shotgun while shouldered, because he's a tiny little lady. So having a semi-auto shotgun allows me to be able to have her use it with relative ease comparatively. So that's the one really big reason why, aside from just wanting it, that I went with the Beretta as opposed to another brand of stuff. The trigger on it is amazing. The loading it is really nice. I know a few people have complained that the loading port isn't quite big enough. I got fat fingers and I can load it relatively with ease. I really don't find any issues with getting it in there, as you can see. The only other complaint that I have overall with the shotgun itself is that I wish they made some of the parts that are in the gas system, like this gas collar right here, I wish they made that aluminum and not plastic. That's probably my only complaint overall with the entirety of it, is that there are some things that are plastic that I wish they would have done aluminum and or maybe stamp sheet metal. But I mean, that's kind of the times as we get now. Things are swapping over to plastic. And I know, well, look at PMags. They're amazing and they work. So overall, that's the shotgun setup. I really enjoy it. It's a great shotgun. So I want to thank everybody also for all the subs and all the views. I very much appreciate it, and I will talk to you guys later.